We're back here. Gloves are off, guys. I guess our next topic here would be away from baseball and onto the ice. This one was very interesting to me because on Saturday you had the Washington Capitals visit Winnipeg. The Jets did manage to claw back in this game and win 2-1 in overtime. Now, when you look at the actual replay of this goal, there's a lot of controversy. Because if you look at Blake Wheeler as he's going down on the right side, his skate appears to be off the ice. I don't know if it's just if the toe's still on there, but if you look at the replay, it's so hard to tell. Well, the referees took a look at this. 9 minutes it took after Barry Trotz, the coach of the Capitals, decided to challenge it, and it was deemed, as we said, inconclusive.
Skate-gate.
With that said, with skate-gate. But do you look at this? Did the NHL get this call wrong? And if you look at Barry Trotz's comments, anytime it's inconclusive, basically they're just trying to save the butts of the referees. Do you agree with that assessment as well? We'll start with you, Andrew.
I have inconclusive problems. Like, how is that a problem? Like, I don't know how it's inconclusive anymore. With all the camera technology and everything we have, you should be able to come up with some kind of ruling, and it shouldn't matter about saving someone's butt based on a bad call. I slowed it down on a computer, and I could see it wasn't offside. And I'm just watching the game.
So you feel that Wheeler's skate was still on the ice?
From what I could see, now that's the
prior
problem.
to the puck.
I feel like
the
it's
blue
a
line.
two-step process that you could see from like the normal television view. I could see that this puck was in the ice, his skate was on the blue, it wasn't offside. Then go to it, if I'm the NHL, go to a different camera angle and see if the skate's up or not. If it's not offside. Like this
same time code, just compare.
Yeah,
UCAP can do this. Why
but
can't
it
NHL?
took him 9 minutes, and Barry Trotz was visibly frustrated. Is this going to be a concern, especially when they go to their next AGM? Like, are you frustrated? Because to me, I could understand where Barry Trotz is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, it's tough to tell. From my personal opinion, he may it looked like the skate was, but it's a white sheet, and you're zooming in. It's so pixelated, you can't really tell if that leg is up. You can tell that knee's bent, like it's going to be lifted up. But again, I'm agreeing with Barry Trotz on this.
Okay, I think that maybe replay reviews have gone a little too far. You know, we need to, for things like offsides, for things like goals, sure, go in and at the time of the goal, go in and see, was it past the line, was it not? For offsides, you know, it's a real-time decision that the referees are paid to make. They made the call that it was not offside, and you know, 20, 30 seconds passed before the actual goal happened in that scenario. I mean, yes, it's the difference between a win or a loss, but you just let it go. It's human error, or I guess not error. I think that give them a break on this one.
Jeremy, if broadcasting doesn't work out for you, I will be a reference if you ever decide to apply for a job at the National Hockey League. Trying to be politically correct as possible.
There's no room for that on this show.
If Gary Bettman was here today, he'd be like, man, I got to learn from this guy to kind of skirt around the issue. Okay, let's keep talking about the NHL.
Right.
All joking aside, let's talk about the Edmonton Oilers specifically. You look at this team, they do need a defenseman. And it's clear. They've been playing decent of late, but they need a guy who would be at least a top two. And in order to do that, they're going to have to get rid of a top six forward. There's a lot of rumblings out there that either they trade Jordan Eberle or Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. As a guy who's from the Edmonton area, I know you like the Oilers.
Yeah.
Who would you give up if you were Peter Chiarelli and had to make a deal? Which forward is gone?
All right, it's
Eberle, Nugent-Hopkins.
It's really tough, and I think personally, I like Eberle more because I feel like, not maybe just because he's been around for longer, and he had those great appearances in the ATP commercials. He seems personable, right? This is where I'm basing my argument off of, by the way. He seems personable. He's a very talented hockey player, obviously. I would like to see the Oilers keep him because he has, I think, more potential for leadership than Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. But that being said, because of that, he might be a bigger bargaining chip. They might be able to pull in someone better for him. But I say keep Eberle, get rid of Nuge.
Yeah, I think you can actually get rid of Nugent-Hopkins because of you have Connor McDavid now centering the first line, and now with Draisaitl, put him on the second line, center that one. Are you going to throw Nugent-Hopkins on the third line? Are you going to put him on a wing? That's now the questions. If you can ship Nugent-Hopkins to the Eastern Conference, he'd be great. He's a little guy in a big man's world in the West. He can't survive. And you can look at his plus-minus ratings, and he's terrible every single year. I would trade a guy like that over, say, in Everly, where you need those guys, elite scorers on the wing. You can find a centerman in the West that can fill that role. And it's hard to find elite centerman, but you already got two, or looks like you're going to have two. So and you might have another one coming next year. We'll talk about that probably more. So we'll see. So you might as well get out, and especially also right now, Everly's not playing well. So Nugent Hopkins is the guy that you can actually make a move this year and bring someone in now.
Look, they won 3 games in a row. Okay, it's pretty much a given that are going to be in the playoffs this year. So
We'll bring him back for the draft special when we talk about the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, all right, it's done. All right, we're going to keep the ball rolling here. I want to talk about basketball. Golden State Warriors, 22-0. This is a pro sports record that has beat all 4 major sports. Let's be fair. 22-0 to start the year. They're taking on Indiana tonight. What are the odds that they go 23-0? Do you like them or you don't? Andrew?
Well, we did this last time with Montreal and the Canadiens, and we did this and they lost. So I'm going to say they're going to lose tonight based on our luck. But it's Golden State. And I've looked at their schedule the last 10 games. They have like maybe 4 decent opponent, and that's the sad thing. We're calling the Cleveland Cavaliers a decent opponent, and they're 13 and like whatever team. Like, that's the problem. They're so far ahead that you're looking at teams that are 13-9 and 12-8, and these are decent teams, like the top team in the other division.
Well,
conference.
give credit. You have teams like the Toronto Raptors who are kind of the middle of the road, and they took both games, both out in Oakland and the one in Toronto on the weekend. They took them to the distance. It just came out that the shooting and the clutch performances by guys like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson kind of helped out. But what would you say to this, Jeremy? Do you think that they still have, even though Indiana, I think, is a much better team than Toronto is right now, does Indiana have a chance to knock off Golden State, or is Golden State the team to go 23-0?
I think they have a chance. They've won. A lot of their games have been very close games that they've just kind of pulled out, right? And Golden State has come away with the win. But I'm a guy who likes dynasties and records and breaking records. I want to see that. I want to see them win as many games as possible. I think the real test, like you mentioned, the Cavaliers, I think that's Christmas Day that they're playing.
Yeah, they play them on Christmas.
That might be the biggest test, is get LeBron in there and see what happens.
Or it's going to be teams that aren't that marquee event, the guys without LeBron, and that's what would scare me. We had Chris King on a couple of weeks ago, and he said that the college is starting to play that level too. Well, you can see it when they play, that when they're not playing those top level opponents, they take a little bit off. They're not playing to their highest caliber all the time, and that could be the same thing. Professionals, who knows? But it does happen where those little teams you don't expect, and on a random Tuesday night, and there's a loss, and it's like, well, I wasn't watching.
Tuesday night in Milwaukee.
Tuesday night in Milwaukee.
I think that's the equivalent of a Tuesday night, I don't know, out in, say, Kitscoty?
There we go.
Maybe somewhere in there.
Great
Yes,
place, Kitscoty.
I compared the Bucks to the Kitscoty.
Wow.
I guess it was the Crusaders?
I think so.
The basketball, yeah, the college team, or the high school team, that is. So give props to the teams out in Kitscoty. All right, we're going to take a commercial break, pay some bills, and be back with Over Under next.